Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Kunal Desai, founder and CEO of Bulls on Wall Street and Bulls on Crypto Street. Welcome to the show, Kunal.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, we're going to talk about your background. We're going to talk about trading, your courses, cryptocurrency, things of that nature. Before we get into all that, give us some background on you as a trader and a CEO.
Awesome. So I've been trading since college. It was growing up in the dot-com boom. That was just all everybody talked about in the late 90s. I went to college at Michigan State. 1999 I started. And really right around that time was really when people started getting like their first laptops and, stuff like that. And, you go to college and you just have so much more free time than you do in high school. There's less structure. And just being at the university and having all this access to computer labs and internet and information and people, I started dabbling in this thing. And of course, I caught it at the tail end of the dot-com boom. And I got really more of the crash. And so I got to experience really the ups and downs of the market at a young age, but I was hooked. Unfortunately, I just wasn't very good for a long time because I was a kid. I didn't know any better, but it was something that I really kept hacking at up until my mid-20s when I finally got good enough to actually do this for a living. And a few short years later, 2008, I opened my company, Bulls on Wall Street, as that was like an interesting time because, obviously the markets were crashing and there was a lot going on, but it was really the advent of social media. I mean, sure, like Facebook and MySpace and those things had been around, but like right around 2008, it's like when people really started to use Twitter, which is right now, the huge messaging platform for just getting out like your thoughts. And so I started posting like stock picks, like my ideas, what I'm thinking of the market, and I'm posting them on Twitter, and I just started getting such a big following. And it was just, the timing of it was with the market crashing and people just losing so much money in their investments, people started realizing like their financial advisors are dopes, right? They don't know anything about trading stocks or even managing money. They're salesmen, essentially. They make money on getting the account or churning the account. And you start seeing people lose 50, 60, 70, 80% of their life savings. It's what happened to my dad, stuff in your 401k. People start looking around for information, like what's going on in the world. And so I started building up a following. And I thought, you know what? I need to find a more structured way to aggregate these people and get them the information that they need, along with services of, what I'm particularly trading. Because in 2008, I was crushing it, and as a trader, you can make money when the market goes up or down. It doesn't really matter. You want the volatility and the action. And so, having that, people don't even realize you can short the market. When you're just a retail investor, you just believe whatever your parents told you or your financial advisor told you. You don't even know there's this whole other side of people making money actually betting on stocks to go down and actively taking part of their finances. And so that's where I started to really build up a following and a business. And I've been trucking it ever since now. So it's been about 10 years. It's my 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
If you last 2 years in the business, you kind of figure out whether you've been meant to do it or not. Just to give you a little background on me, because we can talk so well with each other about this. I got into the investment industry at a young age too, 19, in 1980. So I've been trading just about everything there is to trade since then. So that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I saw what you were doing and I wanted to bring that out. Now, you are trading in cryptocurrencies, and I want to hear your position on the impact of trading in the finance space via cryptocurrencies.
Awesome. So cryptocurrencies right now, probably a lot of you guys have heard the term Bitcoin or Ethereum or cryptocurrency. It was the hot buzzword of 2017. In 2017, risk was on in the stock market and risk was on in the cryptocurrency market. Mm-hmm. Now, things got too far ahead, too fast. We had a lot of people just pile driving into the market, probably before the market was really mature enough to even handle that type of investment. So you really saw that kind of parabolic action in the cryptocurrency market, and we've crashed. It was a bubble. We've crashed. And that does happen. I'm still bullish on the cryptocurrency market long term, but I am not actively trading it right now because bubbles take a while to work themselves out. We saw that. Look, a lot of times people see bubbles and it's like this horrible thing. Well, the great companies of this country, a lot of them came out of the tech bubble. What happens after a bubble is the cream will rise. Innovation will come through. Companies get leaner, they get more efficient, they provide better product. And that's what you're going to see in the cryptocurrency market. There was thousands of coins out there last year. In reality, there's really only 4 or 5 use cases for cryptocurrency right now. So there's only a handful of them that are actually real coins and even real companies behind the coins. And so this 2018 is really about filtering out all the junk and letting that cream rise and kind of letting the market reset. 2017 was deadly. A lot of these brokers / exchanges, they were letting people buy Bitcoin with their credit cards. Coinbase would let you buy with their credit cards. People see something on CNBC, it's a buzzword. People are talking about it at parties, at the bar. People are just buying it on credit, right? And so now what you're seeing is all those people, their credit card bills are coming due and they've got to sell. And so you're just seeing an endless selling of the market right now. And then there's the underlying, of course, threat of regulation. The cryptocurrency market has been unregulated for a long time. And the threat of regulation.
Let me get in the conversation here for a second. I want to ask your opinion about this. There's an old statement from many years ago by a guy named Rothschild. He said that you buy when the blood runs deep in the street. Do you see further depression of those prices? In other words, it's not ready to think about making an investment in the cryptocurrency world yet because there may be more blood to come?
There could be more blood to come. Right now, if you look at prices, they're still significantly higher than they were even a year ago. And right now, people are nervous about regulation, which they probably shouldn't be. My belief and educated guess is that when the U.S. or the rest of the world comes up with smart regulation to define what cryptocurrency is it a security? Is it a different type of vehicle? And have some structure behind it, that's when you're going to see smart money, big money, hedge funds actually come into the market. 2017, an unregulated flying market. You're getting mostly traders and wealthy people, but you're not going to have a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund that trades the stock market on Wall Street come into an unregulated market where they don't know if their assets are protected. They don't know what the tax liabilities are. They don't have really any background to structure a business, right? It's a guess. When we come up with some type of regulation, which should happen this year fairly soon at some point, I think that's when you're going to start to see really smart money come in, because the long-term use cases and growth of cryptocurrency, the idea of it and what it can do is interesting and it's possible, but we can't get anybody more than some teenagers and some retail investors speculating on some of this stuff because most of the coins don't do anything.
Right, they don't. But there's Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and then there's some other use cases that we can talk about.
Sure.
Let's change gears here. You've got some points that you want to make about the current and future state of marketing nationally and in Dallas. Bring that out for us.
So the demographics of the country is just changing. Right now what you're seeing is people from high tax, high cost areas, they're saying, you know what, as much as I like the beach and the mountains, maybe I don't want to live in California, right? Maybe I don't want to pay 11, 12% state tax and pay $1 million to, buy a studio, or a bungalow, right? We want to come into areas where we can build businesses, we can hire top talent, where there's good universities, where there's land, cheap real estate, where you can actually have a life and make a good income, but it actually goes somewhere, which is how it used to be, right? You can make a good income and it goes somewhere. Well, right now, in a lot of the places in the United States, if you were making, say, $100,000 a year, which, hey, growing up, that was like the holy grail coming from Michigan. If you could do that, you had a nice life for you and your family. That's not the case anymore, and so you're starting to see a migration from people on the coast coming to places like Dallas or Nashville. There's a lot of places that, people are starting to pop up to because, well, frankly, you could just have a better quality of life, but also business regulation and opportunity is just there because you're getting growing markets versus something that's an established market that may have already peaked. And so Dallas, I think, is just a hotbed for entrepreneurship, building businesses. You have access to young talent, which I think is really the key driver of a lot of cities. You need young 20, 30-year-old talent that's wanting to take risks, build businesses, right? They're moving around, they're spending money, they're buying houses. And you can do stuff like that in Texas where, well, frankly, if you were living in Los Angeles or San Francisco, even worse, right? You're priced out of the market. You're priced out of the industry. You're locked out of these places. Same thing in New York, Boston. I mean, you name it. Chicago. I was just in Chicago. I mean, my sister's living in a studio paying, 3 G's a month for rent. I mean, how do you get ahead? If you're trying to start a business out of your own pocket, how can you do it?
Do you know what you get here for $3,000 a month?
5-bedroom house.
On 500 acres.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
That's nice living right there.
I'm an early adopter of a lot of things. That's why, they have a saying down here in Dallas, no, I'm not from Texas, but I got here as soon as I could. All right, let's talk about the current state of the market.
Sure.
Well, I want to hear your opinion.
So right now in the United States, we're having pretty much what's a digestion year. Last year, the markets were trending. I mean, you saw the market go up every year. This year, the market is actually still strong, but we've been stuck in a range for a good chunk of the year. There's fears coming out in the market, which are probably unsubstantiated. It's always trade war, this. But if you really look at like employment, if you look at the tax structure right now, there's a lot of bullish things that are happening in the economy. I mean, look at retail stocks. Those things were left for dead, right? A couple years ago, everybody said Amazon was going to put everybody out of business. And companies like TJ Maxx and discount retailers, they have nowhere to go. Look at TJ Maxx, it's at $106. It's been going up every day for the last year and a half. Retailers have made a huge comeback. Like people are shopping, they're spending money. A lot of the climate of the United States becomes so politicized. It's Trump this or this, and it doesn't matter whether you like a president or not, right? The numbers say we're living in a strong economy, and this is still the best country in the history of the earth. No matter if the president tweets there's going to be a trade war or not, those are small fluctuations in the market. But right now we have a climate that is promoting growth.
That's right. So do you think that there's more upside to the market, or we're going to get a distribution pattern that's going to last for a little while before a pullback?
We may sit here in this range for a while, but my personal belief, it looks like this market's going to go. Any time in the last 3 or 4 years that we have thought that this market's left for dead, what happens? It surprises us.
Everybody.
It surprises us. We should learn by now that bear markets and crashes, those people want to see that because of the political climate. They think if they see that, it basically says, okay, the president's bad or this person's bad. But bear markets and crashes happen very rare. It's a once a decade or even longer occurrence. You can't bet on that. But what you can bet on is the strength of the trend in the market and the overall numbers that the market is showing us, which is, this country's at full capacity for employment. People are having opportunity. The tax climate's amazing. And even right now, like every time the market's left for dead, the Dow pops 200, 300 points out of nowhere. Right. And I mean, we're having another strong day in the markets. And look at the tech stocks. We have 4 companies right now that are larger than pretty much their total market cap is larger than 90% of the countries. You take companies like Apple and Google and Microsoft, and you compare them to the rest of the world, we still have all the money. We still have all the opportunity.
Now, we only have a limited amount of time. Talk to me
Sure.
real quickly, if we can, about the, crypto impacting the trading space. I'm very interested.
Crypto right now, the market cap has been reduced so small. I mean, we're maybe at 200 billion. Mm-hmm. In the trading space, it's not making much of an impact on the stock market, but in the general space of retail traders, because retail traders were the ones that really piled into this market, you're definitely seeing final probably capitulation into it. But we're closer to the bottom than the top on the crypto market. I mean, where do we have to go at $200 billion market cap? You're at 1/3 of what Facebook is, right? And that's for every coin imaginable. So the opportunity right now is frankly a lot better than it was in December when Bitcoin's at 20,000. But we are going to need to kind of shake things out for the next few months and just digest all this selling. And you know what? If we start to see some basing out and we start to see that market go sideways and start to hold, that's a good sign. And I think the trigger is really going to be if we announce some type of smart regulation or something like that, allow some big money people to get into the market, then we're going to really be in a potential new bull market. You have to remember that we're still in the first inning of a very long game. If you're a believer in the technology or the cryptocurrency space, then we're still in inning one. Okay. And so that's where we have to always kind of look at this. And, long term, we need people like my parents, like our parents, like people that have money in 401ks, that have saved money. We need them to take a portion of their income and say, you know what, I'm going to put it in cryptocurrency. But that can't happen right now because it's not protected. But also I try to explain to my dad how to open a Coinbase account, and it was like, whoa. And my dad's in the tech industry, right? But I'm like, hey, you got to hold in front of your webcam a license, put a date, take a snapshot, passport, upload it.
Yeah, done.
Two-factor. It's not going to happen.
Whoa. Like I said, we only have so much time here. Kunal, you're doing something in Dallas coming up soon. What is it?
Yep. So we've been doing live events, trading events in Dallas, where we gather groups of people and we run like a 6-day boot camp, a real one, 12 hours a day, no fluff, where we start people from the beginning of what the heck is going on in the stock market. We build them up and start showing them trading strategies that they can actually go out and use for day trading and longer term trading, so that they can kind of learn from A to Z, really how to attack the markets, When
and where?
So we've been doing them at the W Hotel. Our next one will be in January, and we're looking at the second week of January. We just need a little confirmation from the W Hotel, and we should be good to go.
I'm very familiar with that place. All right. Well, good. Kunal, I want to have you back on the show so we can talk about some specifics when it comes to trading, because you're talking to somebody who's been doing it for well over 30 years. And we speak the same language. But
I'd love to pick your brain.
Ditto. I'm sorry we only have so much time, but we'll have you back later so we can continue the conversation on all these topics you brought up, all right?
Hey, take care.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube.